I'm on a day out today with my dad. We're on our way to the Bath West Showground in Somerset, where there is a model railway exhibition, where the star of the show is Heaton Lodge Junction, which is said to be the biggest model railway in Britain. It's exciting, isn't it, Dad?
Yes, we're getting lost on.
The Bath West Showground, best known for the annual Bath West Show, which is an annual event with farming at the centre but is grown to be far more than that. The showground is used through the year for various events, and for this weekend it's model railways. So let's take a look at Heaton Lodge Junction. Promoted to be the biggest model railway in Britain, this layout covers a footprint of just under 200 feet by 50 feet. Although the layout is almost entirely built by its creator, Simon George, some others were brought in to help with things such as the control systems, the programming, and also building the wooden framework for the modular system that the layout is built on. This enables the whole layout to be taken apart, packed up, and transported, which is done so on 3 articulated lorries. Now, Simon George's idea for the layout was to recreate the stretch of track near where he grew up in Yorkshire, where he used to go down with friends as a small boy in the early 80s and watch the trains go by. It's far from perfect conditions. The grass is pale and covered in frost, the sky is grey, and there's rubbish and dirt around the place as well. Look, there's a Tesco bag. This photo here was taken by a railway photographer in 1983 and actually captures 12-year-old Simon George with 2 friends standing on the fence watching trains go by. And the scene is recreated in the layout. As you can see there, 3 boys on the fence with the photographer up on the bank. There are actually a number of train spotters around the layout, so if you like, you can be a train spotter. A few more interesting facts about the layout. It's built with around 3 miles of O-scale track, mainly made by Pico, and this contains 60 sets of points. Over this track there is around half a ton of real granite ballast. The rolling stock consists of around 50 locomotives and 28 trains. These are mainly diesel locomotives, but if you keep an eye out, you might see the odd steam excursion go by. And the whole thing is wired up with around 8 miles of cables and wires.
You're right. Hey? Good luck taking pictures. I mean, even landscape.
Just keep bringing out all the old tool, the older tool it is.
understand this to do it, you know. A friend of mine's, you can't say he hasn't done the model himself, can you? A friend of mine who's in a similar situation, college, this is
Interesting to see is the backstage area, as it were. You get to see the trains coming in and out from doing their performance in the scenic area, sweeping around these wide curves, and also the complicated fiddle yard at the back. You also get a real appreciation of how the whole thing is constructed. All the modular sections resting on those supports, which I'm sure all of them have got to be adjusted to make sure everything is perfectly level. And you can see that desk in the centre where everything's controlled from. And that man to the left, that is actually Simon George himself. Hinted by the placement of a few buildings here, this area isn't going to stay like this. There are plans to make this area scenic as well. Though, unlike the main section, which is based on an actual real place, this area will be something more fictitious. So that's something to look forward to in the future. Right, on to the other layouts on show. This is Bournemouth West by Roger Sunderland. Based around 1960, this is a 00 scale recreation of the old Bournemouth Terminus station. This is a highly detailed end-to-end layout, where it runs from the terminus and the scenic section around to a fiddle yard in the back.
I've talked to Roger
There's Dad browsing one of the many stalls that were there. Now we're over to Wimborne by Wimborne Model Railway Society. This is a 00 scale layout, however things aren't quite that straightforward. See, when 00 scale was devised a long time ago in Britain, the gauge of the track was actually too narrow to be properly in scale with the models, set at 16.5mm. Now when other parts of the world started making models, such as in Europe or in America, they kept the same gauge track, but made the models just a little bit smaller so they were properly in scale, thus creating HO scale. Now some people modelling British railways have gone the opposite, keeping 00 scale but making the track slightly wider. This is Finescale 00, or F00, or even FU. Or yet another name is EM standard, EM referring to 18mm, which is the gauge of the track. Anyway, this is Wimborne. Nice layout, isn't it? Now we're at Oldshaw by Mike Hale, which is actually another EM standard layout. This is only a small one, it's only 8 feet in length on the scenic section, which comprises of a station and a factory building. Even though it's small, there's a lot to look at, as it's packed with detail. There's a backstage fiddle yard, and trains can come in and out from either end, maybe do a bit of shunting, run through, and disappear again.
Can't get this. It's because I'm shunting to schooling today. Which in the end is a bit like a dodgy suspension spring.
Yeah, always blame the wagon.
This is Alexandra Sidings, based in 1970s northern Manchester. This is another fairly small layout idea, but in O scale this time. It's about 20 feet long. Again, there's a lot to see with plenty of detail. There's an upper level where some shunting is going on, and a lower level with a station platform. The sounds on this one were also really good. Some more browsing. We did find that Bachmann had a store. There was nothing American on it, sadly, although it is Bachmann UK. The only large scale they had was Thomas the Tank Engine. My dad spotted that they had a suggestion box, so I rushed over and put a note in for F scale, rear grand, everything. This is Kannotburn by Bentley Model Railway Group. This is set to be along the West Highland Line in Scotland, around the time of transition between steam to diesel.
You're going to stop so I can bring one round?
No, I'm too long for that.
It's alright, it's alright. Then you've got to run through it. Right now, you've waited long enough. A few more minutes won't hurt. And what's the worst of that?
Another new one. Pull the fucking steps off.
This is Evercreech New by Yeovil MRC. This is of course set on the Somerset and Dorset line, making this the most local layout to where we actually are at the Bath West Showground. Modelled in O scale, this layout includes a replication of Priestley Viaduct. Now the village of Priestley is right on the edge of the Bath West Showground. This engine, 44422, I'm pretty sure I fired the real thing when it visited the West Somerset Railway a few years ago. Now this layout wasn't officially part of the exhibition. It was part of a stall by a DCC company showing off their products. But it seems to be a zigzag line on an American mountainside, which is pretty cool.
When it goes back,
These inputs can be 0 volts, they can be 20 volt powered. So if you're using something like our LMIDs and you're using 18 volt track,
ready?
Just a little, but you don't need a big one.
Oh yeah.
Well, you could go in
And then the light.
Well, Dad and I had seen everything, and we were just about getting ready to leave when we noticed Heaton Lodge creator Simon George was being interviewed by ITV News. So we snuck in the back to try and get in shot. Now, did we end up on the TV?
Its creator spent the last 8 years developing it.
Yeah, kinda. You can see my head and camera just to the right.
This time it's come up to the Bath West Showground here in Somerset with the aid of 3 articulated.
Now the important part Have you subscribed yet? If not, please subscribe. There's so much more to come on this channel, including the next video where Dad and I take a ride on the Bath West Miniature Railway. That's coming up in the next video. So thank you for watching, see you soon.
Hi.
Hello.